Hey guys, this is Alex, and today I'm making another video because you guys really seem to like that last video I posted talking about my workflow using the MPC One with Studio One and essentially just recording straight to audio and kind of skirting having to really use the plugin at all. But a lot of you guys in that comment section were asking, okay, that's cool and all, but how do I use Studio One VSTs with the MPC? Okay, how do I control VSTs here in Studio One using the MPC pads? And today I'm going to show you how to do that. It's actually pretty simple. So, first thing that you're going to need to do, I assume most of you guys probably have an audio interface. If you're using a DAW, you probably already have one of these. I have two. I have one that I don't really use anymore because it doesn't have enough mic and instrument ports. And I'm going to hold that up to the camera now. That's an audio box USB. What you're going to see on the back there is a MIDI in and a MIDI out. Pretty self-explanatory. You're going to have that on the back of your MPC. Okay. And what you're just going to want to do is buy two MIDI cables. Okay. This is what a MIDI cable looks like, the end of it here. You know, you're going to buy two of these. There's a couple bucks at any Guitar Center you're going to go to. And you're going to plug the out from the MPC into the in port on your interface and the in port from your MPC into the out port on your audio box USB. You actually could just buy one, but I think that you should just always buy two in case like you want to send information back and forth. Like if I want to control the MPC with the DAW, you know, I want both cables there. Okay. So I just say buy two cables, have it going in and out. So then Studio One can send information to your MPC and then your MPC can send information to Studio One. Now, once you have that set up, you're going to come here into Studio One. Okay, and you have a new project here. You're going to go to options and you're going to hit add. And from there, you're not going to go to new instrument. You're not going to go to new control surface. You're going to go to new keyboard. Okay, and you're going to hit receive from, and you're going to pick your audio interface. Okay, so again, in this example, I actually have my Steinberg UR44. That's my audio interface, okay? The one I showed you is an audio box USB that I don't use anymore, but I have a Steinberg UR44 that is my audio interface, okay? And this receive from, what it's saying is what Studio One is going to receive messages from. So Studio One is going to receive messages that Steinberg is getting, okay? If I want the send to, Studio One is going to send to the Steinberg UR44. And, you know, by extension, if I have an out MIDI cable going into the MPC, it's going to send to the MPC. But you actually don't even need that, okay? So if you just have the one MIDI cable, you can just receive from. I actually have a digital piano that I hook up to my Steinberg UR44 as well. So I'm just going to keep it as receive from, but you could do both if you want to, okay? Right here in the MIDI channels, in general, MPC is going to be on channel 10. That's like what most like drum instruments are going to be on, but you can just, for now, just highlight all of them, okay? They're by default all highlighted, but you can hit this button here if you want to highlight all of them, just hit MIDI channels all, okay? And that just means that, you know, if you had interface that had like 20 MIDI channels, it's just going to like read the messages from all of them. There's not really many cases in which like you have to worry about that. So just select them all. And then you hit OK. All right. And actually you can also name this. So I'm going to name it real quick, and I'm going to name it MPC One. Okay. Just by clicking on it again, I have MPC One. All right. Now, that's not all you have to do. Now, you have to walk over to the MPC. So I'm going to walk over to that and do some stuff there. So on the MPC here, I'm going to create a new project. Okay. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a kit. Okay. Let's say, for example, I want to choose this acoustic kit there, or whatever samples you want to have on there. You can feed it into it. You could do that after too, but just for the purposes of this, I'm doing it beforehand. And right here on track, you're going to see all these little symbols here, right? Because you have different types of instruments. You have like built-in VSTs on the MPC and whatnot. What we're going to do is we're going to hit this little circle button right here in the middle. We're going to hit that, and that just changes it to MIDI, okay? So you always have to hit that if you want to control a MIDI instrument in your DAW. Now, on top of that, now the MPC is going to ask you, okay, what MIDI port are we using here? Okay, same thing that Studio One asks. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change that to MPC, okay? And now it's listed as MPC. And now, if I hit on these I have to add an instrument in Studio One. Let's do that real quick, okay? There, I added instrument track. Now we're going to hit on these pads. And you can see that as I'm hitting on these, that little orange bar next to my instrument is that thing's going up because it's receiving a MIDI signal, right? So we can come over here and we can add something. Let's just add impact, for example, okay? And when you hit this, you can see, you know, I'm hitting some different ones. But right now in Studio One, you know, I'm hitting like chords and stuff, right? I mean, you can see as I'm hitting these individual notes, I mean, multiple of those pads are lighting up. So what you want to do is you actually want to go here to the pad perform button, okay? It's just to the right of that MPC MIDI port that you just selected, okay? And you're going to hit this button here. Now that's going to show all the different configurations that you can use on your MPC in terms of what notes it plays when you hit a pad. Impact in Studio One is going to be a C scale, okay? But it's actually going to be, you're going to switch to notes and you're going to change this to, where is it? Chromatic, okay? And it's got to be C1, so that's the octave that you're in, okay? And now you can see when you look over there on Studio One, it says C1, C sharp 1, D1, D sharp 1. So impact is in the C chromatic scale, and it's in the first octave, okay? So now, if I hit all these, you can see, you know, they just go up in the way that you would expect, okay? And obviously, like if at some point, for example, if I am using, let's just say I'm using my tie, right? I'm using a VST in here, right? And I actually do want it to play chords in the scale that I'm in. Well, you can just come in here and very easily just change it from chromatic to say, for example, I'm in the C major scale, okay? I'm not just going from C, C sharp, D, D sharp. You know, what I'm actually doing is I'm skipping notes in there because I just want to play the C scale, okay? Now, all my pads are in the C scale, and this is how you can make those nice chops where, like, if you just identify what your scale is, you can really have fun on these pads and just, you know, bounce around on them and do some cool solos and stuff, okay? So, pretty simple, but I think it's a video that needed to be made because, yeah, when I was looking as well, I didn't see a lot of videos on people just saying, hey, how do I just very easily set this up so I can use Impact or My Tie or these other things, okay? Because if you go into MIDI controller mode, I mean, I think it's dumb, but the MPC One, the way that Akai has set it up is if it's in MIDI controller mode, it has to use the MPC plugin, and that's, you know, kind of a letdown. So yeah, just do it this way. You're going to be able to do vocal chops, anything else you want to do in Studio One using VSTs. And the main point is you just have to have it hooked up via MIDI and then select your track to be MIDI. And that's how that works. So Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video.